Hey, things worked out for once. I was looking for that upset pick. I was trying to decide which way to go with it. That one upset, because I thought there'd only be one. And, I was really, really looking at the Cowboys, but I decided to back off at the last second and go with the Jets. It paid off. I was fully prepared to watch Dallas win and San Diego win, and then I'd just feel like, why did I do that? But it really worked out for me well because Minnesota beat the ever-loving piss out of Dallas. It wasn't even close. It wasn't a contest. We can clearly see who's the better team. It was not. It was not competitive. It was not an interesting game. It was just a beatdown. And if I had taken Dallas in that game, I would have been scratching my head wondering what made me pick Dallas throughout that entire game because they showed nothing that indicated they were on that level. So I backed off at the last second. Reason I did, mainly because everybody was picking Dallas, and that scared me off, and hey, it paid off. So, in regards to the game specifically, Minnesota, I don't know what's going on with their running game. I don't know if people are just putting 8 in the box against Peterson. I don't know if Peterson isn't running well. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of bizarre because, Peterson's a young running back. You don't expect him to fall off this quickly. And that offensive line, maybe that's part of it, but they still do have, Steve Hutchinson and Matt Burke, I believe his name is. And they have some good guys up there, and it's surprising to me that they can't run the ball. And, yesterday they did not need to. They threw the ball all over Dallas, had no problem doing it. They started off a little slow. This wasn't a wall-to-wall beatdown like, say, the Saints put on the Cardinals, but they were able to get everything they needed and a whole lot more. So, and that wasn't really where they won the game, though. They won the game with their defensive line against the Dallas offensive line. They just completely manhandled the Dallas offensive line, Flozell or no Flozell. Ray Edwards had nothing to do with Flozell Adams going out against Jared Allen. Ray Edwards destroyed Tony Romo. Jared Allen was just a part of it. There were a lot of people out there sacking Romo. Wasn't all about Jared Allen and Flozell Adams. There were a lot of elements in play there, and just a complete beatdown. And, this is why Dallas isn't on that level yet. You saw it yesterday. Minnesota is a team that is on that Super Bowl level, even if they may not win it, but they're on that level, and we saw that there is a significant difference between teams on that Super Bowl level and the teams just below it. So I didn't expect it to be a beatdown like that. I really thought Dallas was going to be able to pass the ball on Minnesota, and they might have been able to. We'll never know because of the defensive line playing as well as they did. I can't say that the Dallas receivers sucked or anything because there just wasn't enough time to make plays. So that's kind of what you have to say about that one. So there you go. The second game, this one made me feel real good because throughout this whole game, I had a good feeling about the direction it was taking. I felt good about the way things were going, even when the Jets were down 7-0. I thought the Jets were doing the right things. They were running the ball, not putting Mark Sanchez in a position to do anything bad. He threw one pick. That was, kind of his fault, but not one pick really isn't all that crippling. They didn't get away from the game plan. A lot of times on 3rd and long, they would just run it. And they wouldn't get the first down, but they would play field position. And it worked out. Thanks to Nate Kading. I mean, they needed some help from a higher power than their own ability to play. Nate Kading fell apart. Rivers, I thought, played a pitiful game. Rivers, I thought, just sucked out there. The one pick was kind of a fluke, but the other was backbreaking and horrible. Just really bad. And early in the game, the Chargers were able to stop the run, but by the end of the game, we saw why they don't have a good run defense. They really haven't all year. I don't like their run defense tonight. I think we kind of saw why that's the case. So, yeah, I mean, it's tough to trace exactly where this loss comes from. You look at Nate Kading, you look at Norv Turner, Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates in the second half. The offensive line let up some bad sacks at unfortunate times. Just a lot of things going into this one. And I think Nate Kading should be gone. It's a pattern now. He does this every postseason. It's a pattern. I think Norv Turner should be gone. I think he never should have been hired, but it's time to undo that mistake. Get rid of him. I firmly believe that it's time for Norv Turner to pack his bags. And the San Diego mess continues, and it's not going to get any easier. They have good players that are getting older. And honestly, if they still had Jamal Williams, I think they would have gone all the way this year. But they didn't have him because he got older. This is the sort of thing that happens with a team when they just keep blowing opportunities to have a really good season like they did in 06 and somewhat in 07. Really 04 too. I mean, they had a good young team that had a lot of positives going for them. And now they're, in some areas, a little too old. And you saw it yesterday. They needed Jamal Williams out there to stop Sean Green and Thomas Jones because they got run all over. And the game, really, I was happy about it because it went exactly the way I thought it would. I'm not trying to sound too boastful or whatever. The Jets ran the ball well. Darrelle Revis shut down whoever it was he was covering. He wasn't always covering Vincent Jackson. He would cover different people and didn't give up anything. And the one-dimensional San Diego offense couldn't get it done when they needed to. And it was nice to see a close game, nice to see an upset. A lot of fun. Intense game. I felt real good after it was done. And I'll talk about the championship games next week. We got some good stuff coming up. Everybody get ready. I'm going to have a lot to say about those games. See ya.